Guys, welcome back to Now We Gaming Podcast, episode 4. Question mark 4? 4.
Isn't it now weird
4X. No.
Well, welcome back to We're Gaming Now.
Today we're going to be talking about World of Warcraft. And we got our World of Warcraft specialist with us. Everybody say hello to Darbound. Round of applause.
Nice to meet you. Hi. I thought I was a special guest. I thought I was the expert on WoW. What the fuck, dude?
Ooh, about that.
That's fucked up,
You
man.
think you're the expert here?
I mean, I'd like to consider myself.
And what are your credentials? What's your resume?
I got to level 60 in WoW Classic.
Mm-hmm.
I got to level
What
60 in WoW Vanilla.
All right.
I've killed so many bosses.
Numerous
bosses.
So many bosses.
So many bosses I've killed.
Just like a whole lot of bosses.
So many bosses. I've cleared Karazhan.
Okay. Nice.
Karazhan wasn't in Classic, but okay.
Fuck. I cleared Ragnaros.
Right on.
Is that
The Fire Lord, right?
is that the right one?
Did I say that right?
Is that right?
Too soon.
Anyways. Yes, we're here to talk about World of Warcraft.
Ew. I mean, yeah.
Well, possibly one of the biggest MMOs that will ever exist in our world. I don't think MMOs will ever reach the peak that it once was.
I mean, MMOs were never like that big. It was just World of Warcraft, right?
I'm not sure, but maybe we'll do an episode on that.
As far as North America is concerned, I'm fairly sure it's the biggest MMO.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, let's just, if we could, look at player populations.
In its peak in October 2010, the game had 12 million subscribers. As of November 2014, it went down to 10 million. Then they started saying how many accounts have been created. 100 million accounts created in 2014.
I remember seeing that on their boxes. They literally switched over from like 12 million active players to like 100 million accounts have been made. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, 12 million people, man. Active subscribers. That's a lot of money.
Multiply that by 15. That's a month, baby.
God damn.
What's up?
Did you like that reaction?
Yeah, did you get scared?
Did you? I mean, was that what it seemed like? I was going for more for like surprise.
I felt like you were surprised because you remembered something about the first time you played World of Warcraft.
Of course. Dude, the first time I ever played World of Warcraft was 2004? 2004. When did you start playing World of Warcraft, Alex? Because you literally introduced me to it.
So I played when the game was in beta, I believe, or alpha for like a few weeks. And then I never played it again because I didn't have a computer at the time.
You never played it, so you haven't played it since the alpha, so you probably shouldn't be talking about it.
Can I finish talking? I hate you.
You said you never played it again.
I didn't finish my sentence. You interrupted me. I'm a fucking...
You said never again. That's literally the end of a sentence. Like,
never again until is a valid sentence, by the way.
You can't say until.
Yes, you can.
Never again implies never.
All right, Jody, lead the conversation.
So, Alex, when did you get back into WoW?
I never played again.
He actually made up the fact that he has killed the Fire Lord Ragnaros.
Wow, dude.
Anyways, so I played Alpha a little bit, and then Halo 2 came out, and we played Halo 2 religiously. And you introduced me to Jag. And one day Jag was like, hey, bro, there's this game that just released, World of Warcraft. You want to play it? And we're like, yeah, maybe. And Anthony was really big into playing Halo 2 with me at the time. And Anthony looked at World of Warcraft and he was like, dude, this game looks amazing. He's like, we need to play it. And I was like, but bro, I don't have my own computer. So how am I supposed to play this? My boy goes to Best Buy that day, buys a brand new computer, gives me his old computer, buys us both subscriptions, and paid for my subscription until I was senior in high school. So this was around 2004. Yeah, because Halo 2 came out, I think 2003, 2004 maybe.
So yeah, there you go. So you had in August of that year, 2004, you had Halo 2, and then by November
I think we got on it probably closer to the beginning of the next year in 2005, maybe a little bit around
January.
December, yeah. But basically, I was like, I have no idea what an MMO is at this point.
Yeah.
And we load into the game, and he's like, Jag is like a level 34 warlock. He's like, bro, check this. He's like, check this shit out. He's like, look at this. This is Hogger. He's like, watch me kill this guy. And fucking just
annihilates him.
Decimates him, bro. So then we're like level 15, and he's like, bro, check this out. Takes us through Dead Mines, and I'm like, dude, this game is amazing. Like my mind was being blown, dude. Like little 14-year-old me.
Honestly, seeing that game so early with how like well done it was mind blowing at the time. No game even came close to the immersion that game had.
It's a very full world. There's just so many zones at launch. Even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it ran on my shitty old computer when I played in the alpha is a testament to how well put together the game was.
Yeah.
They wanted the lowest common denominator, and they wanted as many people as possible in the game.
I can't confirm this at this point in time, but I know I first played on my family computer, and I don't think it had a graphics card.
Ooh.
I think it had onboard graphics, and it could run the game.
That's amazing.
I'd have to double check.
I played on a really shitty Dell whenever I first started, and it had it had a built-in graphics card. I didn't actually have a graphics card on it, and it ran perfectly fine.
I'm pretty sure I played on a compact Presario, bro. Little shitty compact, bro. And then my brother went and bought because he had his own computer, and we had like the family computer. But then he went and bought a computer and was like, just take mine, bro. I was like, okay, man. The little fucking 14-year-old me. I was like, thanks, dude.
Okay. So we know how Alex got into the game. Did he get you into the game, Joey?
Yeah. It was probably late 2004, early 2005, when they started playing. So I saw it and I was like, this game is amazing. I've always had a thing for like the MMO RPG. Like I'm an RPG player. So MMOs are my jig. I've loved MMOs forever. And I was like, this looks so well done. I didn't even get to buy the game because I didn't have any money, and I wasn't the person to be like, hey, mom, dad, will you do this for me? Like I would never do that. So like I got like the 30-day trial that came with it. And I played that, and I got to play that. And then I would like get money here and there for stuff, and like whenever I get money I just go buy like a month subscription. So that's why I was so like on and off with it, because I would only play it in times where I could scrounge up $15 to play for a month, and then the month would be over and I'd be like, well, can't wait to make $15 some other way to play some World of Warcraft. That's mostly why me and Alex didn't really play World of Warcraft together a whole lot too, because by the time I would actually like get to play, he would be like 20 levels above me, and like he'd be off doing like actual World of Warcraft things, and I'd be like, dude, I just hit level 12. I just hit level 12. It's freaking sweet. Have you seen this instant cast stuff? It's awesome.
Can I get some bags maybe?
Yeah, right. Dude, I just made 50 silver. Like, oof, I'm rolling in it. But yeah, so like I wasn't too consistent with World of Warcraft when I was younger, but as soon as I hit like 17, 18, I got my own job and like my own money source. It's all I did. What about you, Darbs?
So it's kind of strange. I knew Nick Ardoris from middle school.
Oh.
So we were probably met each other in maybe like 6th grade. So you're probably like 12 or whatever. However old you are then. And 12, 13.
Them youngins, who knows? It gets younger every year.
I guess he had played a bit, when the game came out, but we ended up swimming together in high school. And as freshmen in high school, it was actually our swim captain that was like, oh, fuck yeah, World of Warcraft is dope. Just being a rogue and just going somewhere and stabbing people. Dude, it's so cool. So that 3 of us ended up playing Horde and just all started fresh characters or whatever. But Nick I feel like he had already been playing for a hot minute when I picked up the game, because I feel like the first time I played was probably when like AQ came out or even ZG. So I wasn't there at like the initial launch of the game. 100%.
What was the initial, like, was MC like the main
It was
thing
just
on
MC,
initial launch?
And then Anixia came out
And then
shortly after.
Black Spire, I guess, was
Blackwing Lair took
was
like
that
several
level
months.
60?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that was tier 2. And so MC was out for a long time.
Yeah. I remember that being like the OG thing.
But I want to say it took like 5 months or something before before a guild killed Ragnaros.
Yeah.
From when it was released. So
that was one of the cool things about World of Warcraft. Like, whenever it was in its peak, is that everybody played it. So you always felt like so connected, like teachers, businessmen, children, like anybody, everybody played World of Warcraft at the time. It was crazy. It was like such a feeling of the community coming together. Everybody plays this game. It was sweet. So what class did you guys start with whenever you first started playing?
The only class that matters, a mage, obviously.
To be fair, I do think mage is the most fun class.
why is mage the only class that matters?
You can make water, dude. Water and food.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to dissect from it, but basically they're ranged and they have a lot of mobility, especially early on in WoW. Like,
and come on, dude, the ability blink, like that's Alex's shiz, dude. Do you know how many walls you can get through with blink?
I glitched so much in that game with a mage.
That's all he did was glitch.
Exploration.
I'd say the reason why a mage to me is the most important and probably the best class, at least early on. Nowadays, it's hard to decipher. Is polymorph, blink, the ability to self-sustain without spending money, so conjuring stuff, and then just like you have so much sustain. Like you have evocation when you're running low. You have mage armor that gives you regen.
Mana crystal.
Yeah, you've got CC.
There's just so much stuff that helps you as a class. And not to mention, you can just do a shit ton of damage. So,
yeah.
Right on. What about you, Joey? What'd you start off with? Do you remember your very first character you made?
I do remember my very first character I made. He was a little night elf hunter boy. He was very pretty, just a very pretty man.
Very handsome.
Yeah. They sold me on the fact that you would get a pet in the game. And then I realized that whenever you started as a hunter, you didn't get a pet. You had to earn it. Yeah. And I was like,
10 levels.
Man. Yeah. 10 levels for me.
Later.
Yeah. 10 levels for me was like a year. So.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
But yeah, like I started as a hunter and I didn't really like it right off the bat. I had fun with it, but it just wasn't for me. MMOs have always been like a thing with me where like I have to try everything because I want to know every class. So I honestly got to the point where I could play every class and I had every class down. Like I know relatively well every single class up to Wrath of Lich King. I didn't get into like panda brawling.
Yeah. So did you find there's a class that you enjoyed more than the others?
Yes.
As far as when you started playing?
There is a class that whenever I do go back to World of Warcraft, I play it every time. If I do ever go back to World of Warcraft, it'll be what I choose. And it was the most fun I had playing one. And that was Druid. Druid was so fun because it literally took my love for like learning every class and then put it into one class. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, this is me. Like I can heal, I can do magic damage, I can be a rogue, I can be a tank. Like you can literally do everything as a druid. I'm like, this is my class, this is what I want. So that's pretty. Yep. So just like it conformed to me, and I'm like, I love this. This is the only character I'll play.
What class did you start with, Darby?
So I do remember Zeke, the Night Elf Hunter on Earthen Ring, was the very first character that I made.
Ooh, was he a pretty boy?
Oh, yeah. I feel like he had white hair, I think.
That's hot.
But
white hair is hot.
I made that character because that was Ardoris's realm, and consequently your realm as well, Alex.
Funny story about that.
Yeah.
Is that I knew Nick Ardoris a long time before I guess you and I ever met. And then you came and played as Zeke, but then you never really stuck on the server because did you guys go play Horde? Like you said, like I don't remember raiding with you a lot.
Yeah.
Until you were a shaman.
Exactly. So super quick. I made that hunter, left it at level 1. We played on Horde on Garithos, some strange realm. I got a druid to like 45 as restoration. And it was a very strange experience for my
trying to level resto
game. Yeah. But I definitely picked up really quickly just on the team aspect, in the sense that I was like, well, I could just be the healer guy and hopefully there's somebody else in the area doing that quest, and then I could just, shoot Moonfire and heal stuff up.
Excuse me, sir. Could you lend a hand?
But it ended up that obviously our captain on the swim team that we were playing with on that Horde realm went to college. So he quit playing, and I really think Nick was like already in tier 1 doing BWL by the time I was leveling my hunter.
He was our main tank, bro.
Mm-hmm. So I was in Sky Seekers with him. I remember getting to 60, and if I remember, they free rolled T1 shoulders, Giant Stalker. I won the roll, and this guy who lost was like, that would be my 8 set. And a bunch of people were like, no, man, that's how dice work. And I was like, shit. I passed him, and they're like, nah, man. you were in that fair and square. And I'm like, okay, right on. So that was my first raid piece. And I feel like Nick was still in Sky Seekers by the time I got to 60. And he must have moved on to Fallout?
Yeah, we all met up in Fallout, and then ironically enough, I came into Fallout from another guild and followed the majority of the guild over there, like Vertidog and Teddy and all of them. And
that's so weird. I was at Fallout too.
So like we came from another guild that basically exploded because of some drama, and then we formed the guild Fallout, ironically, because it was the Fallout.
Yeah.
And then from there, that guild exploded, and then like Nick, me, Anthony, and I guess a handful of other people left to make another guild. And at that point, we pretty much just did like BWL and ZG.
I do remember the Fallout had an alt guild named Cleanup Crew.
Yep, that's correct.
I thought that was pretty silly.
Yep. Back to Joey's point about people of all walks of life playing the game. 2 of the people were brothers in the guild Fallout.
Yeah.
And they were both cops, and they were highway patrolmen, and they would literally be in their patrol car just chilling on the side of the road.
Oh my God.
During the raid, so the one was like the mage captain, and during the raid, the guy's like, hold on, guys, I just got a call. I need to go help someone change their tire. So he's just like AFK. He goes and helps them change the tire.
Goodness gracious. Right. So what really makes the game attract so many different types of people? What makes it special, at least to you guys?
Honestly, I couldn't answer like what made it blow up and like what made it so attractive to everybody. Because like I thought it was an amazing game. Like it was the perfect game for me, but I didn't understand how it translated to everybody else, because I saw like skill points and like numbers, and like I love numbers. I absolutely love numbers. That's why I love RPGs, because like I love seeing how different things affect statistics and everything. I could play RPGs that are just straight text based, and I adore them. But like that's the thing I saw with World of Warcraft. I was like, I love these numbers, these skill points. Like, oh my God, what did you pull up?
Alex found a wiki for the realm we used to play on, and actually has old guild leadership data where it lists his brother as the priest officer.
Vertidog,
guild leader.
Yeah.
Terrio, the warrior. Darden. I remember those names.
Where were you, bro? I thought you were the mage, Alex.
I was like 13. I did a lot more raid leading than being the officer whenever we got later into the content, especially Burning Crusade.
Yeah, what drew it to you, at least personally, and what made it more so universally attractive?
I think it was very accessible.
Yeah.
It ran on a lot of machines. It did a lot of hand-holding on some regards. And in the regards it didn't do hand holding, it was very easy to make the game extensible to do the whole hand holding.
But like at the beginning of it, whenever WoW first started, it did very little hand holding.
Oh yeah.
Fighting creatures, like if you pulled 2 creatures, you were probably gonna die.
But you learn from that.
Yeah, but then like you'd have to like sit and like wait for your mana and health to regenerate. Whenever you did quests, they didn't have like quest markers.
Yeah.
Remember they didn't have quest markers? You have to actually read the quest and be like, head northeast. And you're like, okay.
100%.
And I'm just like, how do other people love it? Because I loved it. I loved everything about it. I hated quest markers, but like I didn't understand how other people fell in love with that. I'm like, this seems like it seems so difficult.
It really comes from, I think, the fact that the game wasn't really optimized in the sense of like the player's path through the game. So people more approached it like you're saying, like an open-ended RPG. And you do end up having those MMO elements where you get to interact with human players, and that I think is, at least for me, a special draw to it, because that is also what I enjoyed, being able to immerse yourself kind of in the zone that you're in, and that is what drew me to do more quests, is kind of figure out, you know, every zone has a little bit of a story going to it.
In a time of Halo 2 and Modern Warfare 1, like Xbox Live, ha ha ha, fuck you, you little shithead, fuck this, fuck that.
Yeah.
In a time of
Something
that,
so much more constructive.
there was a sense of community in the game,
Yes.
versus a sense of, hey, this person's my rival and I'm gonna shit talk them. Obviously, there's shitheads in the game. I was probably one of them for a while, but at the end of the day, people more so wanted to help than they did want to not help. And I think that like early on, you know, there was only one server.
Yeah.
If you're leveling up around the same time as someone else, that chances are you're seeing that person a handful of times, if not more, on the way to 60.
Definitely.
It benefited you to be nice and to help these people out. I think the biggest thing that makes WoW special, at least from my time of playing it, is the ability to interact with people and have a good experience. Like a genuine, you felt like you're having a human-to-human interaction, even though it was online. You play Call of Duty and somebody fucking shit talks you, and you're like, "Fuck this game." You mute everybody. You're like, "I ain't fucking talking to anybody."
Yeah.
World of Warcraft was the only game I can think of that had full-on actual weddings, funerals, and like people actually gathered around in that game and made a community out of it. It was honestly pretty beautiful.
I mean, I guess this would segue into like how this affected our life, since we're kind of talking about some of this stuff.
Yeah. The line between online and real life.
Just to start it off, as like some anecdotal information, you and I wouldn't be here talking if we never played WoW.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you know, I got married in 2012, and you and Nick both came to the wedding. And we met through World of Warcraft. It was just much easier to come home and play with you and Nick for fucking ever, all night, and just like go do stupid shit together, or just fucking chill and talk.
Yeah, you come home from school and pop off on that Ventrilo.
Hell yeah, fuck Ventrilo.
Hop onto that TeamSpeak channel. What's up, boys?
Don't remind me of that world. Wait, while we're talking about Ventrilo, dude, the greatest experience I've ever had on a voice chat program was in like Molten Core, when me and I don't know exactly who, it could have been you, it could have been Nick, it could have been any of the other troll kids.
Mayonnaise?
Oh, mayonnaise, changing the fucking voice, dude. Hell no. Dude, basically we used to call them black holes. You probably already know what they are, dude. Two people would use private keybinds, because in Ventrilo you could talk to specific people instead of the entire group. Like you could be in a giant party of people and talk to everybody, but also hit a button and talk to someone else. So 2 people would talk to each other, and they would put their mic to their earphone and just yell as loud as they could, and it would echo and create a black hole. You would then have another keybind to somebody you didn't like, and you would fucking hit him with the black hole. And they would be like, "Oh my God, what is that noise?" And people are like, "What are you talking about?" So you would just cut it off, and nobody would be able to track it down because your fucking shit isn't lighting up anymore.
Yeah.
I got so many people like mid-fight, bro, and they would just fucking die or like fucking fall in the lava. Oh, such a piece of shit.
So good.
You hit him with like "Hit me, baby, one more time," and they're like, "Who the fuck is playing Britney Spears?"
Down, now.
It was a fun time, dude.
That's good stuff.
So, how did WoW affect your guys' life?
It fucking didn't.
You didn't think about WoW while you were at school or anything?
No, it did a lot. It affected my entire high school career. Probably not for the best, but
yeah, same.
I feel like socially it helped. It connected with a bunch. Like I still have probably 3 or 4 people that I met through World of Warcraft that I still talk with today. Me and one of my buddies ran a guild together, and we stopped playing World of Warcraft. I was probably like 22-ish whenever we stopped playing World of Warcraft, and we kept talking. We're friends on Facebook and everything. We talk all the time. And then when I was 25, he was coming to Florida just to like visit. So we like met up and like went and hung out at the beach and like went and got daiquiris and shit and like actually hung out in real time like 4 years after playing World of Warcraft.
Hell yeah.
It was awesome. It was the coolest experience. Whenever he came, it was as if we had just been friends forever too. It wasn't even awkward or anything. It was just like, hey, what's up, man? Let's hang out.
It's really easy just to pick that right back up.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to my own experience in high school, I was probably on the whole negatively affected as far as my academics were concerned. I was definitely dozing off a couple times in the morning because, at least for me, my classes I think start at 7:15, and I would often play until like 2 or 3 or 4. And after school, pretty much year round, I swam as well. So that'd be like a couple hours. So from like 3 to 6, I would be swimming and then like hop on right after dinner, do the raid.
Yep.
Finish the raid at the very least. And then like maybe do some homework and, do some goofy shit like leveling up or whatever.
My man threw homework in there to pretend like he actually did anything.
Well, so it was like, I personally could have done a lot better for a lot of things, but there was a point where it was like my folks were getting pretty irritated with how much I played. So like I would have my at a point in high school I had my laptop that I worked a summer job to buy, but I would be in my bed and I'd have to go to the raid, and if like we wiped a couple times on a boss or something, my folks would be like, yo dude, put the computer away, go to sleep or whatever. And they would check on me. So I would have to like hide my laptop. I would close it and like pull my blankets over the laptop and my mouse and everything and pretend to be asleep. They would look in my room. They would close the door and I'd have to like whip open my laptop.
Sorry, guys.
Go back to doing the raid. And like I couldn't talk during the raid after a certain time. And I had to like keep my keystrokes as quiet as possible. So yeah, that's
rough. That's hilarious.
Me as far as high school is concerned.
I think by that point I already didn't sleep, so
yeah,
it was just natural.
And here he is today,
still not sleeping. I think the other way it really affected me was that like people get like street smarts and shit.
You sound like you have them.
No, I don't have street smarts, but I don't know. There's a sense of like playing a game for hours on end with so many people from different walks of life. You just pick up and learn things from people. And I think that WoW almost helped me mature in a lot of regards, because in our guild, I was playing with a lot of people that were like 30, 40 and older than us. And they would treat me like a peer to them,
Yeah.
They wouldn't treat me as this like dumb little kid. And if I ever had questions, they would be there to help answer them. Not only that, but like there's so many things that I just learned that I never knew.
Do you remember that paladin by the name of Krakra?
No.
This was a really interesting experience for me as a teenage white guy. It was a paladin that everybody thought was a guy because it was a male avatar. And they ended up quitting the game. Never ever heard him on voice before, and they quit the game and they basically said to the guild, hey, I'm a chick, and they were on voice, so like I just want to say goodbye to everyone and stuff. everybody was like, what the fuck? I didn't even think that you were a chick, blah, blah, blah. You have a boy avatar, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, I did that on purpose. And that, for me, was just like, damn, dude, she made that decision. Like, even if she didn't like the male avatar as much, she picked it so that people wouldn't fucking bother her while she played the game.
Exactly.
That's very true. Yeah. That was a big thing in World of Warcraft too. Like the female characters, you could literally make a female character and then just get free shit from people. Yeah. I knew people who did that, who would just make female characters and go and get free shit from people. I was like, my God, what is this?
Thoughts.
Yeah. But you know, you lived up north. I lived in Florida at the time. There's people from Canada. There's people from all over the world playing, and just like learning from how they live or like their walks of life, I feel like just helped me so much that like if WoW literally wasn't part of my life, that I would probably just be dumber. I would just straight up be dumber, dude. Just more ignorant of the world. Yeah, perspective on the world, exactly.
Especially with like when you were in such a big guild and had all the responsibilities of that guild.
Yeah.
In your like early teens.
Oh man.
I was being a raid leader at like 14 and I'm like, hey guys, welcome to Molten Core. Remember that this boss does this and that boss does this. Let's go. Yep. And it was just like,
be sure to CC your targets.
Yeah, like calling it out. Like it just taught some of those like leadership aspects that otherwise not acquired them.
And just on that point, I agree. There's something about the raid environment. I guess it's the fact that everybody wants to be there.
Yeah.
But ever since raiding in Classic and having that was pretty much my first large scale MMO experience, was 40 people in Molten Core. Yeah. It just always confused me when I worked jobs as a teenager, and even now. When you just have somebody that's in a leadership position that's just so apathetic. Yep. And you're like, hey man, just tell me what you need, man. Just tell me what I need to trank shot. I'll trank shot. That's all I need from you is a little bit of direction. So considering all that and kind of how we've talked about a lot of our experiences that happen specifically in Classic or Vanilla, I should say, is that still present in the game? Is that something that you can still experience? Is it something different for newer players?
Yeah, so I come back every expansion, probably play at least a minimum of 2 weeks just to kind of get a feel for where the game's at, since it played such a big part of my life. So I quit playing around Wrath of the Lich King near the end of it, and when I came back on Legion because I was kind of just burnt out at that point for playing like so many years straight. So on Legion, when I came back, it was a completely different game. It was not the WoW that I remembered. Everything was just so streamlined, and this is part of the reason too why I quit, is because in Wrath of the Lich King, the era of Farmville and Facebook games, like it felt like they were taking WoW to the point where it was just brain dead. Like you didn't have to think to play the game. You didn't really have to try. It was like, hey bro, like when I do that dungeon, roll the dice and fucking queue up. You didn't really have to be a part of a big guild to experience the game, which I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to experience the game unless you can dedicate 40 hours a week to it. But definitely in Legion, it was like raid finder and stuff. Like, what's the point of joining a guild? I'll just be casual. I'll just queue it up. I will use raid finder to then run the raid and just have it done in like an hour. And it just wasn't the same experience. You're in the raid. There is a voice chat. Nobody's in it. If you fuck up, people shit talk you, and they're like, bro, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Like, no longer are there people there that want to help you because they're never going to see you again. They're on like server Z and you're on server fucking S. So like the next time you go to a raid, that person's never going to see you again. And it totally ripped the social aspect out of the game. It just felt so watered down and a shell of what made me enjoy World of Warcraft.
Yeah, now that you say that, I think that that is actually what made World of Warcraft special when it first came out, is it forced people to have those social interactions, and it forced people to it forced them to do things on their own and figure things out on their own and like build something themselves. The game didn't like push all this easy stuff onto you. It just gave you what it was, and it's like, go out and figure stuff out now. Whereas I got big into WoW. I was big into WoW the whole time, but Wrath of the Lich King was like where I started really becoming like a player. Like I would get on 8 to 10 hours a day, Wrath of the Lich King. And like I had a guild, I ran the guild, I main tanked, I main healed when I need to. Like I had DPS when I need to. Like I had everything. If whatever we needed, I was there for it. But it did kind of seem, especially when Cataclysm rolled out, that's when I really lost track of the game, because they dumbed down like the talent pools, and you couldn't like dual spec, like you couldn't put like specs into 2 different trees and like build a character. Because that's what I loved about Wrath of the Lich King, is like you could put these talent points in 2 different trees and like build something that nobody else was doing. And it was so much, I found so much fun stuff just like messing around with that stuff. But like later in the game, it just took out everything that people had to actually put in work themselves to do. And it kind of watered it down, the experience. And it just wasn't as special as it was whenever it first came out.
I think is what happened is the game started losing subscribers, and they tried to come up with a way to get more casual people into the game.
Yeah. Which ended up killing them.
I think that's what it boiled down to from my perspective. In WoW, up until Wrath of the Lich King, everything felt, like you're building a character, like you're experiencing the game at your own pace. But like when I play nowadays, I just get this like FOMO, like that I'm missing out on stuff. I'm like, oh my God, there's a pop-up over here that says I need to get my daily done. Oh, I need to get my weekly done. I need to go to this island and I need to finish this challenge. I need to go here. I need to go there. I need to go there. And it's like, in the regular game, I had none of that.
Just so you know, pathfinding came out. So if you want to fly while you do your dailies, that's going to be a completely different section of challenges you need to complete.
I want to take the game at my own pace, and I don't want to feel like because I didn't do something today, I'm ruining my future in like 6 months, Yeah. Like if I'm not doing this thing every single day to get flying.
But it's also the opposite in that there's going to be catch-up mechanics. So it's either you have to be a grind lord, and actually it doesn't feel like it's worth it to be a casual even when you can unsubscribe for 3 months, come back, and you can play for a week and catch up.
If you go to the tail end, you hit them up on the tail end. Bro, get your artifact power, guys. You can only get this artifact power once a fucking week, dude. Yeah.
So maybe the impersonal experience of just being able to queue up for raids, especially. I mean, even Dungeon Finder, I enjoy the experience of traveling to a dungeon, and it is definitely also an indicator of the intent of your party mates. When you join a party and there's 3 people and they're in the zone that the dungeon is located, you're like, okay, this is probably going to happen.
Yep.
When 2 of the people are just, sitting on an island in the middle of nowhere, you already know where you stand.
Yep.
Do you think it was just a better time also in history? Was that a good time for an MMO like that to come out kind of on the advent of internet accessibility as well? It's definitely...
Yeah, I think it was the perfect time for World of Warcraft to come out. I mean, because 2004, there wasn't really a whole lot of online experiences with people. Like you didn't have these massive Xbox Live games, and there wasn't catalogs of games for kids to just go download and play. Mm-hmm. Like whenever you had to go like buy a game from the store and come home and like that would be your game, and like maybe it had online, but the online is real shitty. You couldn't really get it to work. Do
you remember the days of me and you looking at like freemmos.com?
Yes.
We would be like downloading every little fucking Chinese MMO. We're on like Fly FF. We're on Guns the Duel. We're on all these
Guns the Duel
fucking shitty games, dude. And we're like, bro, why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, let's just go play WoW.
That's exactly what it always came down to.
Yeah. It's like, but we don't want to spend $15, and it's like, fuck it, dude.
That was so funny. Like, I didn't have $15 to spend, so Alex would be like, okay, let's go play this shitty little fucking game that you can play because it's free.
We did play RuneScape for quite a while.
RuneScape was awesome.
Yeah.
But that'll be our next podcast. Whoa! No, I'm just kidding. So I haven't played World of Warcraft since 2014 was the last time I launched up World of Warcraft.
6 years.
If you were to pitch WoW Classic to me, having not have played for 6 years now, what would be the special points of it?
Nothing.
I said nothing. Well, we got the negative aspect.
Here, I'm going to tell you what's special about WoW Classic right now. First of all, it brought Darby and me back together. Playing WoW Classic, it just basically felt like an expedited version of what I had experienced as a kid. They really like just kind of, they start you at the point where vanilla ended in terms of classes and abilities. So like you don't have to go through all the balancing. You don't have to go through all the shit parts of experiencing classes throughout WoW vanilla. And to me, the thing that was surprising is like they said they were going to make it as close as possible to vanilla, but it didn't really feel like I was playing vanilla at all. But it just felt like I was playing like a fan fiction version. Like, I don't know, maybe like a private server. Yeah. And I think that's what they were trying to do, is get the money from the people who are on private servers by giving them like an official private server. Like, it definitely felt better. It definitely felt more of a community. You know, you would play and you would see people as you level up. There weren't like sharding and all these weird like servers combining. Like, it would have sharding on the server itself, but it would never combine with another server, only for Battlegrounds.
Excuse me, the servers were sharding?
Yeah.
It's called shit farting?
Like shards, like a shard of glass.
So
okay.
Basically, people also called them layers.
Layers.
But this is kind of a little bit of what Alex is talking about, how vanilla and classic have these small discrepancies that maybe change the experience more so for other people. But in classic, if there's 5,000 people in Stormwind on your server, they're going to cut it in half as 2 layers. So instead of having to load 5,000 players, nobody has to load more than 2,500 players. So people are pretty upset about that, because that is part of the experience, is walking into the major city and it's not a ghost town, because that's what you get on retail right now.
Yeah.
If people are in a major city, they're flying. So like you can look up and you see a bunch of people on cool mounts, but there's not people running around the town square and stuff.
Oh, that's lame.
So at least the server that I'm on has no layers. So everybody,
all that led to was people abusing the system. So people would farm, and then like they would get invited to somebody's party, and it would take them out of the layer they were in and into another one. Or you might be PvPing, and then somebody gets an invite to a layer and just disappears off the face of the earth. Like it just was a completely different experience. I get why they did it. They wanted to make servers more stable. If the trade-off is to make servers stable and put more people on one server, maybe don't put that many people on a server. It just didn't feel like vanilla from that regard. And then there's other things if Darby wants to go into them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this pitch is going terribly. I'm on the fast track to never playing World of Warcraft again.
Yeah, I mean, you just got the pitch from the guy with the inactive sub.
Yeah, I unsubscribed.
You want to hear my side of the story?
Well, we leveled to 60. We had fun.
Yes. Twice.
Darby's in a raiding guild and has fun. I was in the guild when I played. I went to Molten Core and I quickly realized that I didn't want to play 20-year-old content that I had done day in, day out for hours and hours and hours and hours. I just didn't want to relive Molten Core. It just wasn't fun to me when I did it.
All right. Are you good?
Yeah.
Have you said your piece?
Hell no, the game sucks. Go. That was all I needed to say.
All right.
Honestly, if we don't get this game sucks in, we might as well just shut down the channel.
We actually have a quota we have to hit, or else we lose our sponsor.
Hit every video. Yeah.
So Darby, I got a few minutes left. I'll give you my pitch for WoW Classic, and it's funny because it's all how you take it. It's all some of the negative aspects that Alex listed. I could also pitch them to you as a positive in the sense that, you know, yeah, it is basically the patch at the end of Classic, and you're missing out on a lot of actually terrible stuff. Like some of the talent trees were just really awful in very early iterations of the game. Yeah. So the fact that you're going to get the closest you can to the classic Shadow Priest experience, for example, like you can have that experience. Like you can go play Classic and play literally any spec you want. Yeah, it's not going to be the super meta spec because guess what? The most efficient thing is to run 30 warriors, just fucking executing the shit out of everything. Yeah. So go play Balance Druid. Yeah, go shoot moonfires. Go be a giant chicken. Like, it's a fun game. People still level. Like, people still make alts every time the phases come out and a new piece of the raid tiers come out. People jump back on the game as well. So there's always somewhere that's got people in it. There's always somebody still doing dungeons and stuff. So there's that fact that it's been metagamed. For 15 years, the game's hyper optimized. You're going to run into those people that are just like, excuse me, those are my best in slot boots. What? That's third on your list. What? How could you even roll on those boots? And you're like, well, they look really cool.
Yeah, I want to wear them, dude. What are you talking about?
So you're going to have that experience with people, but especially if you choose a realm like Grobulus, RP PvP, you have more likely people that you're just going to interact with that will speak in complete sentences. So yeah, maybe you don't necessarily encounter RP from every single person that you do a quest or two with in Lakeshire, but they're going to ask you how you're doing. So give it a shot. If you pay for a sub, you get Classic and Retail. So maybe you just want to check up on some of your old Retail characters too.
I'll do it.
2 for 1.
Oh my god.
It's the worst experience you could ever have.
Just saying.
Can we do a video where I resubscribe and go play my old character?
For sure. It's actually a failed concept for a video that Alex and I were going to do, just being fucking shell-shocked by Retail.
The other thing I'll leave you with is part of the reason they want Classic to be a thing and be successful is because they want people to relive the experience of playing WoW. But no matter how hard you try, you're never going to recapture lightning in a bottle. When I played WoW, there were so many things that you experienced that were just fucking absolutely atrocious, absolutely fucking wacky, goofy. The ability, the time that everybody went to ZG and they fought Hakar and the motherfucker hearthed out with the blood, the corrupted blood, and everybody on the server fucking died, bro. Everybody in the fucking game died because of this bug. It's taken out because it's optimal. It's taken out because it's a bug.
It's a bug.
The time that people learned how to fly by making a macro /jump/log out and flew across the fucking sky like ET. It's not in the game because it's not optimal. Like all these things that you experience just like playing through the game as it is in real time, none of that is in it. And like for them to pitch it as a like relive your experience and experience all the things that people did in vanilla and you never had a chance to do, like it's not accurate. And I think that's ultimately why I didn't enjoy it. By the time I got to that point in vanilla, I was ready for Burning Crusade. So it feels like I'm like in a waiting pattern, waiting for the next big thing. I'm not really experiencing anything new. They're just locking things arbitrarily behind times just to keep the content fresh. So that's my biggest gripe with the game. Maybe Burning Crusade will feel different, but ultimately, if Burning Crusade just launches and it's the end-all, be-all, last version of the game, then I'll just be waiting for the next version of the game, you know? Like, I don't know.
That being said, are you going to get on and play once Burning Crusade launches?
Of course. It's when Arenas came out, the only thing that matters in WoW.
Yeah, I'll be there with 10k gold for 2 epic flying mounts.
Yes, farm it, dude.
Well, guys, get your legendary loot ready. World of Warcraft podcast is done. It was sad times. It was good times. It was happy times. We laughed. We cried together.
Thanks for joining us to talk about our wonderful childhood. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun, man.